Hi and welcome to Data Garden. Thank you for checking out my video. In today's video we will once again be working with RStudio, and this tutorial will actually build up on the last one that we have done, where we have worked with the Swiss dataset and did some manipulation to it, such as rearranging the columns in a dataset and changing the column names. Now there was one row here that we didn't actually want to execute because it was for demonstrational purposes. So let's actually add a hash sign to this column and then run all of the code again. Now, in case you don't have the code, I will copy and paste it for you into the video description. Now let's have a quick look at the Swiss dataset again. And as you can see, it is currently ordered alphabetically by province. And for our analysis, it might be better to order it by one of the other columns. Now, we can of course just click here in the viewer on these little arrows and then order by education, for example. But what you can see if you look carefully is that the row names or the row numbers don't actually change. Now that means if we do some operations with the data set, the rows will still be the same as the original order, which actually I notice now is not alphabetically. And so by just clicking here in the viewer, we do not actually change the row order. Now there is an integrated tool to do this in R, but honestly there's a command in the dplyr package or dplyr that is much better than anything that R has integrated in the base package. So that's also the package that we want to work with today. Now if you do not have the dplyr package installed for some reason, then you can install it by using the command install.packages and type in quotation marks dplyr. Now I'm not going to run this command right now because I already have the package installed, and in that case you can just type library dplyr, press run, and then the package will be loaded. Now the command that we want to use is called arrange, like this. And within this command, we first have to define the dataset that we want to use work with. In this case, the dataset is called Swiss. And then in the second step, we have to just define one or more variables by which we want to order. Now, in this case, let's say we want to order by the education score. So we type comma, education, and press run. And as you can see, R gives us the data set ordered ascending by education. Now, of course, we can also change it in the saved data frame by typing in front of the command Swiss and then the assign operator and then the arrange command. Press run, and let's close this and reopen it actually. And as you can see, the order was actually changed. And this time we can see that the row numbers are still 1 to 47, indicating to us that the row numbers were actually changed based on the criteria by which we have ordered. Now, the standard option, as you can see, is to arrange by ascending order, but you can also arrange by descending order with the command desc in front of education, and then you type an opening bracket and a closing bracket. Now, of course, then your command will have two closing brackets in the end. Press run, and now we have ordered in descending order. Now, as you can see, for example, here, we have multiple rows that have the education score of 7, and in that case it would maybe be cool to have the examination score as the second order criteria. And of course we can do this, and we can do this by typing after the first closing bracket, comma, and let's say we want descending order again, so we type DESC, opening bracket, and then we type within the bracket examination. And the closing bracket should be there automatically. So press run. And as you can see, now here we were in the 7 range. We have all these rows that have an education score of 7, but now it's also arranged descending by examination. So that's a pretty quick and easy way to rearrange your rows. But what if we want to just have a look or select rows that fit certain criteria? Now, in this tutorial series, we have already worked with square brackets, and that's also what we're going to use for this purpose here. So let's say that we want to see only all of the lines that, let's say, have a percentage Catholic of more than 60. So we can type Swiss, and then in the square brackets, we want only the rows, so we have to define before the comma that are Swiss dollar percentage Catholic greater than 60, and then we type the comma because we want all of the columns. Press run, and we get all of the rows that fit this criteria in our console, which are the rows 10, 11, 21, 22, 25, and so on. Now, that's pretty good and easy, but what if in addition we want only the rows that also have an agriculture score that is also higher than 60? In this case, we have to type before the comma an and Swiss dollar agriculture greater than 60. So the full command is now Swiss, and then in square brackets, Swiss dollar percentage Catholic greater than 60, and Swiss dollar agriculture greater than 60, comma. Press run, and as you can see now, the number of rows that we get as an output is once again smaller because the criteria is stricter. But what's, just for an example, we want all of the rows that fit either of the criteria. So either the percentage Catholic is greater than 60 or the agriculture is greater than 60, or both. In this case, we have to change out the and for a vertical bar, which is this sign. Now, in case you don't know how to do this, on the Mac you have to press the Option key and 7, and on the Windows machine you have to press Alt and this arrow key that is next to your Shift key. Now press Run, and as you can see, this time of course we get a higher count of rows because the criterion is less strict than what we had defined previously. Now there are infinite ways that you can use this operator. Let's say we can also exclude rows based on certain criteria. For example, let's say we do not want rows that have Catholic percentage greater than 60. Then we can type Swiss, and then in the square brackets, exclamation mark, Swiss dollar percentage Catholic greater than 60, comma, and as you can see, we get only the rows now that have percentage Catholic of less than 60. Now in this example, it may not make too much sense because you could also just type less than equals 60. But for example, for categorical variables, using this operator here makes a lot of sense. Now, of course, you can also combine multiple comments with this. For example, you can type and Swiss $agriculture greater than 60 and press run. And now we have only the rows that have percentage Catholic that are not greater than 60 and that are greater than 60 in agriculture. So this was just meant as an example, and I hope that you take some time to experiment a bit more with this feature and to find out the plenty of options that you're given with R in regard to filtering rows in your data. If you have found this tutorial helpful, then I would be very happy if you gave it a thumbs up. And also make sure to subscribe to the channel because I have more videos of similar content coming up very soon. Thank you for watching and bye bye.